Your person betrayed you at a time when you were offering them unconditional love and spiritual protection. You invested deeply in this connection, nurturing it with genuine care and devotion. However, they failed to recognize or appreciate the purity of your love. Their inability to value what you offered stems from their own unresolved issues, which created an emotional distance between the two of you. They now carry a deep sadness, knowing they turned their back on something so rare and meaningful. Your love was profound, and yet, they allowed their fears and insecurities to overshadow the connection. Your person is acutely aware of their past actions. They understand that they acted selfishly and lacked the courage to confront their own shortcomings. Their behavior made the connection seem one-sided, leaving you feeling unsupported and unappreciated. Despite your best efforts, their unwillingness to meet you halfway created a painful imbalance. However, the moment you chose to cut them off and reclaim your energy was a turning point. Only then did they truly comprehend how foolish and immature their actions had been. Stripped of your presence and the love you had so freely given, they were forced to confront the gravity of their mistakes. Now, they are experiencing the emotional pain and turmoil you endured at the beginning of this journey. The roles have reversed, and they find themselves in your place, grappling with the anguish of realizing what they lost. The intensity of this soul connection has become undeniable to them. They are beginning to feel everything they once dismissed or took for granted. This experience is both humbling and transformative for them, as it forces them to acknowledge the depth of their bond with you. One of the most challenging truths for your person to face is how real you were with them. In a world where so much is superficial and transactional, your authenticity was both refreshing and intimidating. They were not prepared for the raw honesty and depth you brought into their life. Your realness clashed with the facade they had been living behind, a life built on half-truths, pretense, and fear. They were terrified that if you uncovered their true self and lifestyle, you would reject them. The thought of losing you became a self-fulfilling prophecy, as their fear drove them to push you away before you could make that choice yourself. Yet, your love was never contingent on their material wealth, reputation, or the masks they wore. You saw through all of that and connected with the essence of who they truly are. Your love was rooted in a deep soul bond, something that transcends appearances and superficial measures of worth. This is a love that recognizes and honors the soul beneath the surface, a love that few people ever experience. Your person now understands this, but it is a realization that comes too late to undo the damage caused by their past behavior. In the absence of your energy, your person has been forced to sit with their shame and regret. They are beginning to recognize the arrogance and stubbornness that blinded them to your love and its significance. They now see how their actions, or lack thereof, pushed you away. The guilt of not appreciating your worth when you were entirely devoted to them weighs heavily on their heart. They are ashamed of the way they treated you and deeply regret their inability to rise to the occasion when you needed them most. This journey has been a painful yet necessary lesson for both of you. For your person, it is a reckoning, a moment of awakening to the consequences of their actions and the depth of the connection they nearly destroyed. For you, it has been an opportunity to reclaim your power and prioritize your own well-being after giving so much of yourself to someone who wasn't ready to receive it. As they sit with the emotional pain and realizations, they are beginning to see how powerful and transformative this soul connection truly is. It has shaken them to their core, forcing them to confront their own fears, insecurities, and the illusions they clung to for so long. The love you shared has become a mirror, reflecting back to them both the beauty of what could have been and the pain of what they allowed to slip away. Your person's regret is a testament to the power of the love you gave. While they may feel the weight of their mistakes, it is also a chance for them to grow and heal. Whether or not reconciliation is possible, the impact of this connection will stay with them forever, serving as a reminder of the love they didn't fully understand until it was gone. You have always been my rock, my strongest supporter, and the most important person in my life. I could always count on you, and your presence gave me strength even in the hardest times. Now that we are apart, I find myself lost and consumed by guilt, endlessly questioning whether I failed to give you the love you truly deserved. The thought that I may not have met your expectations or loved you in the way you needed weighs heavily on my heart. The distance between us has given me time to reflect on my actions, and with each passing day, I realize the depth of my mistakes. What I wouldn't give to turn back time and have another chance with you. Every moment away from you feels like an eternity. I find myself replaying the past over and over, analyzing everything I did wrong. I want so badly to talk to you, to tell you everything that's in my heart, but I can't bring myself to reach out. I've drafted countless messages and thought of picking up the phone to call you, but something always stops me. It's not because I don't care, it's because I'm afraid. Afraid of facing you, afraid of seeing the hurt in your eyes, and afraid of being reminded of the pain I caused you. My silence isn't indifference, it's fear. I am scared of reopening wounds and making things worse. Even though I'm physically distant, you're constantly on my mind. Everything around me reminds me of you. The smallest, most mundane things, songs, smells, places, bring memories of you rushing back, and I feel a mix of happiness and sadness that's hard to describe. Happiness, because I'm grateful for the moments we shared, and sadness, because I let those moments slip away. I can't focus on anything, my thoughts are consumed by you. No matter how much I try to distract myself or push forward, I can't escape the reality that my life feels incomplete without you in it. I know I need to fix this. I don't want to make any hasty decisions or risk making things worse by acting recklessly. What I want more than anything is to see you, to sit down and talk to you face to face, to express everything that's in my heart. This physical distance between us is unbearable, and it feels like it's driving a wedge deeper into my soul. I can't stand the idea of being apart from you any longer because, deep down, I know we belong together. You are my love, my partner, my everything, and I can't imagine a future without you in it. That's why I've decided to take action. I am preparing myself to make a solid decision for both of us, a decision that reflects the love and commitment I feel for you. This isn't just about me anymore, it's about us, about the life we once dreamed of building together. I've spent far too long juggling my emotions and being indecisive, but now, I'm ready to move forward with clarity and purpose. I'm ready to close the gap between us and work toward rebuilding what we had, brick by brick. I don't want to rush into this impulsively, but I also don't want to delay any longer. The more time we spend apart, the more I feel the weight of what I've lost, and I know that life without you isn't the life I want. I've made mistakes that hurt you deeply, and for that, I am truly sorry. But I believe in second chances. I believe in the love we shared and the bond we created. That love is worth fighting for, and I am prepared to do whatever it takes to prove that to you. I want you to know that this isn't just empty talk. My heart is in this, and I am determined to show you that I've changed. I've taken a hard look at myself and my actions, and I've grown because of it. I understand now what I didn't before. Love isn't just about saying the right words or making grand gestures, it's about consistency, respect, and showing up for the other person, day in and day out. I want to be that person for you. I want to be the partner you deserve, someone who loves you fully and unconditionally. So, I'm coming to you. I don't know what the future holds, but I know this much: I want to face it with you by my side. I am ready to close this distance, to take that first step toward healing and reconciliation. We belong together, and I won't give up on us. No matter how difficult the road ahead may be, I am ready to walk it with you. Because at the end of the day, my heart will always choose you. Before I met you, my life felt like a carefully programmed routine. Every day was a repetition of tasks and obligations, and I rarely questioned why I was doing any of it. My responsibilities were plenty, and I took them on without hesitation, not because I enjoyed them, but because it felt like the right thing to do. If someone asked me for something, I would comply, even if it wasn't what I wanted or if it inconvenienced me. I thought fulfilling others' expectations was my duty, almost as if my own desires didn't matter. Validation became the invisible force driving my every action. I wanted everyone around me to approve of me, to see me as competent, kind, and reliable. I worked hard to appear perfect in their eyes, no matter how much that perfection cost me internally. Even when I felt alone, even when sadness weighed on me, I couldn't let it show. I didn't want to appear weak or flawed. It was exhausting, yet I didn't know any other way to live. My worth seemed to depend on how others perceived me, and I couldn't risk losing that validation. Deep down, I had questions, so many questions, about life, about my choices, and about who I truly was. But I kept those thoughts to myself. I observed the people around me, and nobody else seemed to be asking those same questions. Everyone appeared so confident, so sure of themselves, as if they had all the answers. I felt like an outlier, someone whose doubts would only draw unwanted attention if voiced. And I was terrified of that. I didn't want to be the one to challenge the norm or to appear uncertain in front of others. To be seen as vulnerable felt like the ultimate failure for someone trying to embody strength and composure. So, I stayed silent and kept moving forward, burying my questions and emotions deeper with each passing day. I told myself this was what it meant to be strong, to keep going, to fulfill duties, and to never let anyone see the cracks in the armor. But the truth was, I wasn't strong. I was suppressing everything I felt: frustration, sadness, anger, confusion, and pretending those emotions didn't exist. The more I ignored them, the more they festered, quietly growing into something I couldn't control. At the time, I didn't even realize how much of myself I was neglecting. I was so focused on maintaining the image of someone dependable, someone who had it all together, that I lost sight of who I truly was. I didn't take the time to explore what made me happy or fulfilled. I became a machine, performing tasks and meeting expectations, but I wasn't living. I was merely existing. The weight of all those unspoken emotions began to take its toll. It was like carrying a heavy burden that grew heavier with each step. The sadness I had ignored became unbearable, the frustration turned into a constant ache, and the emptiness I tried to mask with perfection became impossible to ignore. I was hurting, but I didn't know how to stop the pain. I didn't know how to let go of the validation I had spent my entire life chasing. Then you came into my life, and everything started to change. For the first time, I felt like I didn't have to hide who I was. You saw through the facade, through the walls I had built, and you accepted me for the person I truly am, flaws, doubts, and all. With you, I didn't feel the need to seek validation. Your presence made me realize that I am enough, just as I am. You helped me see the importance of embracing my emotions rather than suppressing them. You showed me that vulnerability isn't a weakness but a strength. By allowing myself to feel, to ask questions, and to share my inner struggles, I began to heal. The weight I had carried for so long started to lift, and for the first time in my life, I felt free. Meeting you was a turning point. You taught me that life is more than just routines, responsibilities, and the pursuit of perfection. It's about connection, self-discovery, and being honest with ourselves. Thanks to you, I've started to live, not just for others, but for myself.